السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. Altogether inshallah. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. May Allah inshallah accept our prayers, our amal, our du'as, our mourning for Abu Abdullah inshallah, and reward us for our presence in this majlis. Recite another salawat and gift to Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this great tawfiq, that another night, another time during the majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. We ask him, inshallah, give us this opportunity every night and every moment of this month, inshallah, be able to get closer to him through the path of Ahlul Bayt, and specifically Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. We're talking about improving ourselves through recognizing the factors associated with the failure of people of Kufa at the time of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam, and looking into the great attributes of the companion of Imam Hussain, the soldiers of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. And we mentioned that's what we do in our daily life. We look at people, we look at history of a place, an organization, a person, and based on what happened, we decide what is the best for future. We decide what we're supposed to do for future. We talk and we mentioned that it is important to strengthen our identity as Muslims, to believe in the honor of being Muslim, and to strengthen that confidence and that self-esteem as being Muslim for ourselves and also for our children as well, which is very important. But in this path, last night we talked about the topic of bravery, that we should be brave in order to reach this status, in order to get to this level, in order to change, in order to find our own deficiencies. We should be brave as the companion and the soldiers of Imam Hussain were brave in this path. Brave enough to live everything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the path of Ahlul Bayt. But we need another attribute in this path, the path of our journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need another important attribute, which on the side of Imam Hussain and his army, we see this attribute to the best of all levels that's been practiced there, on top of all by Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam himself, and throughout his army and companion and everyone around him. And that is the topic of patience. That is the topic of sabr in this path. A topic that in the path, our journey towards improving ourselves, our journey towards becoming a better person, our journey towards changing ourselves and our life, no matter how and when, we have to have patience in life. When we talk about change in life, when he said, look at the army of Imam Hussein, the companion of Imam Hussein, والسلام, many of them, they changed themselves in order to be with Imam Hussein, والسلام, such as Zuhair ibn Qayn al-Hilali. He didn't want to. The caravan of Zuhair and Imam Hussein left Mecca together, but whenever Imam Hussein was staying, he was staying either one or two place before or after Imam, so he wouldn't be with Imam. And when they were telling him why, he's one of the greatest shuhada of Karbala, and when they were telling him why, he said, I know what Hussein is going to tell me. He's going to tell me to go with him. And there's an issue between him and Yazid, or whatever he didn't want. Finally, he got to the place that his caravan and Imam Hussein are the same place that Imam sent a message to him, that Zuhair, come, I want to talk to you. Still he didn't want to go. One of the greatest shuhada of Karbala. At night of Ashura, he stood up and he says, Ya Hussein, if I die and come back to this life, 1,000 times this happened, I still sacrifice myself for you. This person, the messenger of Imam Hussein comes, he still doesn't want to go. Still doesn't want to go. His wife was sitting there, so Zuhair, the son of Rasulullah is inviting you and you don't want to go and see what he's going to tell you. Okay, go and tell. He said, I know what he's going to tell me. He says, go and tell him, no, I don't want to come with you. Good for those women that help their husbands and family to go towards Jannah. Right path. And opposite. Zuhair left. The history is quiet here. No one knows what happened between Zuhair and Imam Hassan. No one knows. When he came back, and we mentioned he was a billionaire. He had a lot of money. When he came back, I was so happy, so thrilled. You didn't want to go, and now you're back so happy. What's going on? He says, I'm living with Hussein. I'm going to go with Hussein. Look at this change. How about your money? It's all yours. He gave it. I don't want anything. With all of this left. Isn't it a change? Isn't it bravery? Isn't it the great attributes that no matter how and what you are and what you wanted, you change yourself, push yourself towards this path. So we need another attribute, as I said, patience here, that is an attribute that doesn't matter if you are a great prophet or a regular and simple apt and servant, you need to have this. Ayah of Quran, Surah Qaf, Ayah 35, فَاصْبِرْ كَمَا صَبَرَ أُولُو الْعَزْمِ مِنَ الرُّسُلِ. You have to be patient as the greatest of the prophets, they were patient. You need to be patient. You have to practice to be patient. As soon as I say patience, what comes to your mind? Probably, there was a tragedy, there is an issue, we have to tolerate it. Huh? The main thing, the first thing comes to your mind is just tolerance. There is an issue, you have to tolerate it. There is a problem, you have to tolerate it. Huh? There's the whole, do you think the whole patience in Islam, as Quran is saying, that's talking about this. Our traditions are talking about this. One of the stations, one of the manazil towards Sayyid ila Allah, to get closer to Allah, towards the path of mysticism and Quran, you need to incur this level, and that's the level of patience. When I'm talking to you about this, doesn't mean that I have that. I'm just narrating some of the traditions. So don't look at me as someone who already have this incurred the patience. No. I'm just thinking and reviewing this out loud for myself, inshallah. No, patience is different. It's way bigger than just tolerate something. Hadith mentioned that as-sabru thalatha. There are three different kinds of sabr and patience. As-sabru عند المصيبة. As-sabr, tolerance when there is musibah, when there is tragedy. As-sabru ala ta'a, patience in the path of obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're going to dissect them. As-sabru ala al-ma'siyah, when it comes to ma'siyah and haram and disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you gotta be patient not to do that. So the spectrum is way bigger and wider than just sabr when it comes to musibah and tragedy and problem. Yet some people think about this. I want to start with the last one. Sabr inda al-ma'siyah. When it's in the path of Allah, there is a haram, there is issue that happens. How important to be patient. Let me give you some examples. Someone financially has issue, needs money so bad. All the doors of haram are open in front of him. And as of now, all the doors of halal are not that open. Looks closed towards him. Shaitan is coming and telling him, you need money, you got to go towards haram. Do something wrong, ma'asiyah. His iman says no. A few years ago, I was in New York. One of the brothers came to me and he was a convert. He had 5 children. He had financial issues. He came to me and said, Sayyid, all the doors of halal rizq, it looks like they're closed. And surprisingly, all the doors of haram rizq are open in front of me. And I need money so bad. I was waiting for him to see what he's going to say. He continued and says, and I know that's a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Says, MashaAllah, I said, good. Good that you realized it. Sometimes a test comes and tells me, there's a young person, all the desires are among the, highest level, is walking outside, something haram is there. The whole desires are telling him to look. The whole desires are pulling him towards, look, enjoy it. Haram is there. You can enjoy it just one time. How about that? Just one time. By the way, it's not only for younger people. I've seen some adults, some older ones have issue with this as well. The whole desires are telling him to look. Iman says, lower your gaze. Don't you think you need to have patience here? You have to have patience when it comes to haram. You have to have enough power over your mind. Let me go to psychology real quick. You have to have enough power and control over your desires that when something tells you, when your ego is pushing you and pulling you towards something wrong, you have enough power to say no to yourself. Psychologically, this is the strongest status of mind and beliefs. Any of the psychological issues that happen, OCD, anxiety, PTSD, depression, anything that you can imagine, the main problem is that the mind is out of order of the person. The person tells sometimes to the mind, don't be negative. The mind says, what? I am not listening to you. I want to do whatever I want to do. I want to be negative. It says, don't be negative. That something happened years ago, so it's going to be fine. Just get into the elevator. No. I don't want to listen to you. I want to be negative. I want to push you. Don't drive. Don't get to the elevator. Have this phobia. Have this issue. Have this anxiety. Because of what? Because I am ordering you, me, your mind, me, your nafs, me, your ego, not you. Fighting is fighting with you. You don't have enough strength to fight with me. No, I am going to say what? It's like a little child. Psychology, you heard about this, right? A little child within yourself. Throw a tantrum and says, no, you gotta listen to me, I'm not gonna listen to you. What Islam is telling us, Islam says you have to control your nafs and your ego, meaning what? Meaning that you ordered yourself what to do. Not ever what your ego and your desires wants you to do. No, you are ordering it. This person would never have issue of any psychological issue and mental problem. Never. I have examples. Ashura. The companion of Imam Hussein, Zainab Salamullah alayha. When I say patience, who comes to your mind? Don't be shy. Who comes to your mind? Zainab Salamullah alayha. Anyone else, in psychology we say, loss of the loved ones has the strongest emotional hit to that person. It's the worst one. Zainab Salamullah alayha, how many of her family members she lost in Karbala? And look at this, after the day of Ashura, how strong she is, and she's standing in front of kufr and disbelief. Where this strength and psychology comes from? She has the power over her. Never get depression or anything. All Ahlul Bayt, look at them, the same. That's when it comes to haram. Haram says, the ego says, the desire says, the shahwa, and Allah says, do it, look at it, listen to it, go there. And the mind says, this is strength. Psychologists, they want to say whatever they want to say. I don't care about my colleagues. In Islam, they call it what? You have control over your ego. You actually destroy your nafs. That's nafs Allah. You have power that you say no to it. And that's about when you have this power, anything comes towards you, the iman. In Islam, we say this is the strength comes from iman that tells that person, no, you're not going to do it. What do you mean say it? That means if you want to know how strong is your iman, look how strongly you can say no to yourself when it comes to haram. Level of iman, you want to check it, you want to see how strong it is. See, when it comes to haram, simple things every day that comes to you. Little, even minor harms. How strongly you could say no to it. Group of brothers are sitting, they're talking about something that might be ghaibah, might be something, might be lying, might be unjustly talking about one side or the other side. I just want to follow whatever they are saying to say, yes, I believe in the same thing, but I know that's wrong. I gotta have a lot of power to say, brother, you know what? Either it's ghaibah, I stand up and says, don't talk about this is ghaibah, let's talk about ourselves. Or says, no, that's not right. That's not correct. I have to have power in order to do that, to say that, right? Many other examples that you can find about, controlling the nafs through patience, that we need to have it to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to change our life. Many, many things. When we are angry, when we are frustrated, when we are, I don't want to go through different examples. You just can continue list yourself any other things that can come to your mind about this. Social media, specifically our younger friends. Unfortunately, when you open it, you have access to every nasty thing that you could not even imagine. You gotta have control to say no to yourself. No, I'm not gonna look at it. No, I'm not gonna contribute to this haram that is actually hurting myself first and my iman. No, I'm not gonna do it. وَالصَّبْرُ عَلَى الطَّاعَةِ. When it comes to following Allah's orders, when it comes to wake up in the morning for Fajr prayer, when one of the best part of your sleep, the sweetest part that you love to sleep, you have to wake up and you have to say your prayer.
Ya Allah, couldn't you wait at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 8:30 before I go to work, I could pray? Huh? Couldn't you just say, you know, as soon as you wake up, you say your prayers very quickly? You could. Whatever I say, I know what is the reason. I'm Allah, I know that you have to wake up. You got to be very patient to do that. 17 hours, 18 hours during the days of Ramadan, you got to fast. Have you talked to your non-Muslim friends sometimes? It's the whole day. They're like, you don't even drink anything? How are you alive? Some people, they can't even imagine what you do. The perfect example of power of your self over your nafs, that you tell to your nafs, sit down, I tell you what to do, is during Ramadan. The water is right in front of you, you're thirsty, you're dying out of thirst, nope, I'm not going to drink it. Power, right? It's so difficult for some people. But you have to have a lot of patience here to say no to yourself. He's young, she's just 9 years old, 10 years old, just started fasting, so hungry, opens the door of the fridge, everything is there, she can eat. No, I'm not going to eat. You got to be very strong. You got to be very strong. This patience that comes, Surah Taha ayah 132, وَأَمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. Order your family to salat. By the way, when Allah says order to us, order your family, that means you guys are in charge of the iman of your family, not just the Sunday school. You know that. Not just masjid. Oh, alhamdulillah, we have kids program. So the father goes to work, and next time that he talks to his children about Islam and iman and everything, inshallah, next Muharram. وَأَمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ. You have to order, you have to recommend them for salat and to salat. أَصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. But you have to be patient. Don't force them. When you want to wake up your son for Fajr prayer, don't kick him. Talk to him. Tell him about the beauty of salat. Explain it to him. رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما فاعبده واصطبر لعبادته هل تعلم له سميا. You have to be patient in the path of the ibadah of Allah. Look at this patience when it comes to the best of Allah's servants. Yusuf, ala nabina wa alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah decreed that he has to be thrown into the what? The well. And he's patient, he's not saying anything. Maybe if I was Yusuf, if I were Yusuf, I would say, Ya Allah, couldn't you find another way? Why should it be all the way down there and no one is there in the middle of the desert? Ya Allah, couldn't you? That's just humiliating me a little bit. Couldn't you? By the way, I'm the prophet, right? If you want it, I wanted that. When Zainab sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she says again and again, Ma ra'aytu illa. Some of you guys are very shy. You know certain things, but I don't know why you can't say that much. Or maybe you forgot, you know, the age range as well. But Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. We have to write down this phrase, put it everywhere around us. I'm not going to say our maraja, our ulama, our scholars should come and sit down and, you know, do the tafsir of this phrase. No, prophets, Anbiya should come and try to describe this, what that means. Anbiya should come and describe it. What do you mean, Zainab? What is this beauty that you're talking about? Wallahi, whenever I want to talk about this phrase, I feel so humiliated to even talk. I don't know. It's like a baby is, you know, walking around the ocean and just touch with his finger the water of the ocean. What do you mean, Zainab? What is this beauty that you're talking about? The tents that are burning? The ears of the little children that are bleeding? The bodies that are over there, these are the beauties? The fires on the tent? How do you see, what kind of worldview do you have, Zainab, that you see beauty here? I don't understand. What glasses you have on that you see this beauty? One thing. Because we did what he wanted. Because we followed what he wanted. That is the beauty. Anything turned to be beautiful when you do it for the sake of him. Anything. No, the tents that are burning are not beautiful. Those ears, these are the nasty parts, the cruel part of Ashura that this Mal'unin and army of Yazid, they did. The beauty from there, again, I'm just putting some words together, I don't understand where to go. Like I said, Anbiya should come and describe it. The beauty is that, Zainab Sallallahu she told Yazid Mal'un, she said, you know what? We are the Ahl Bayt of Shahada and Martyrdom. We did what Allah wanted us to do, you know? And one day you're going to stand in front of Allah and Allah is going to judge between us and what you did. It's not easy for the ta'at of Allah, for worshipping Allah, following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is it easy that every single night you have that power that says, I have to go to the majlis of Imam Hussein and sit down? I'm sure you had many other things to do. You decided to come here, sit in front of the ma'arif and the teachings of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, not Sayyid Hadi, Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Islam. There's a reason that you're doing this. You have patience, you come here, you sit down and then matam and then cry for Imam Hussein, and there's a reason behind this. Hadith. أمرنا صعب مستصعب. Abu Afurs, being a followers of us, being Shia, it's very difficult. It's not easy. Look at yourself. You're doing something important, something difficult. Any important things in this world that you want to do, it's difficult to do. Isn't it? Look at this. You want to achieve any degree in this world of anything, it's hard to achieve it. Go to study, oh my God, how many years you have to study, go through a lot of difficulties and problems and stressors to get your degree, right? At work, somewhere else, with family, raising your children. No one can tolerate it. Look at this and look at yourself, look at this. No one can tolerate it except a very, very important angel. Close to Allah. أو نبي مرسل, or an important prophet that can follow us in this bit. أو عبد امتحن الله قلبه للإيمان. Oh, a servant that Allah tested their hearts with Iman. Inshallah, we're all part of this tradition. When after Allah tested their hearts with the Iman. Unfortunately, sometimes we tell, this is one of the characteristics of children, that they don't have sabr. As soon as they want something, you have to provide for them. You're driving, it says, I want this, that's it. You gotta provide for them. You're gonna keep repeating, I want it, I want it, I want it, until you give it to them, right? There's no patience. Some of us, we're the same. Some of us, we have the same problem. As soon as little bit issue happens between couples, husband and wife, ya Allah, yeah, we're not good for each other. Yeah, it's clear. I have a record of 2 weeks of marriage. 2 weeks after getting married, I'm like, did you guys have enough time to fight? 2 weeks? You're going to do something else. In 2 weeks you fight, and you decided that you're going to get divorced, mashallah, you know, fast forward, MP3, microwave, so fast. Okay. Yeah, we're not good for each other. You gotta be patient over there. This path is a path of changing, improving. As soon as he said something and you felt so disrespected, or she said something, you felt so disrespected, don't dislike something, you know? It's a path of adapting yourself through the path of marriage for the sake of Allah, to change yourself, to become a better person, to have more patience. Before, when you were single, you could sleep the whole night, no one was bothering you. Now that you have a little baby, she wakes up, you know, he wakes up a few times during the night. You have to be patient. I have to be patient. When you look back, you see that people, we have a lot of, alhamdulillah, elders sitting here. Our grandparents, they've been married for a long, long time. Not because everything was so rosy-colored, beautiful, amazing. No, because they had patience as well. When there was a problem and an issue, they had patience. They were giving each other a chance to choose to improve. Many times you said, do this, do that, you have to do this. It doesn't work. You just need to be patient. You need to have time. You need to have time to let it go, and the whole time would help you to become better. Hadith. الصبر من الإيمان. الصبر من الإيمان بمنزلة الرأس من الجسد. The connection between patience to faith and Iman is the connection of head to body. فإذا ذهب الرأس ذهب الجسد. كذلك إذا ذهب الصبر ذهب الإيمان. A body that doesn't have a head is what? Is a dead body. An Iman, a faith that doesn't have patience, is no Iman. There's no Iman. But you see this again on the side of Imam Hussein himself. Every single time that Shuhada of Karbala, they're bringing back. Look at that. How much patience Imam Hussein he has to have himself. On top of all, he's at the same time, yes, he's an Imam, but at the same time he's a father. At the same time he's an uncle. At the same time he's a brother. At the same time he's a friend. One after another when Shuhada are coming, Imam Hussein is still patient. The narrator of the army of Yazid says, the closer we were getting to the Zuhr of Ashura, the more we were saying that Imam Hussein is becoming more passionate about his path. It's the best way that I can find. More passionate. We're saying his eyes are looking differently. It's like he's getting to where he's supposed to get. Instead of being, depressed or having issue and anxiety here. And many, many other traditions and ayat of Quran that change. How many times in Quran we repeat, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. Allah is with those who are patient. Have patience, have patience. The next time that shaitan comes and tells you to do something wrong, the first thing is, wait a minute, patience. Next time that you want to control your anger, someone told you something, your wife told you something, your husband told you something, you have the right to go and tell them this and that. Just hold on to this. Patience. Sometimes I tell my clients, you can text, you can type it in your phone, but don't send it. Give yourself some time. Believe me, you're not going to send it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, give to yourself. You're not going to send it. Sometimes you do something that I wish I wouldn't have done that, right? It was so bad. Write it down for yourself, but don't send it to that person. Hold it. Practice to control your what? Practice to control your anger, your ego, and all these things. And the third one, as-sabru 'inda al-musibah. The sabr, when it's a tragedy, when there's a problem, when there's an issue. It can happen in our daily life as well. Something happened, God forbid, and a beloved one passed away. Any financial issue happens. We go through some turbulences in life and problems and issues. There should be a reason. If we in Salat al-Fayl, we say, وَمَا تَسْقُطُ مِنْ وَرَقَةٍ إِلَّا يَعْلَمُ. A single leaf from tree is not going to fall down unless Allah is aware of that. So that I gave myself to Allah. Look at this. And I submitted myself to Allah. Yes, we're good, we're bad, we fall down, we stand up, we're not that perfect in Iman. Yes, but at the same time, alhamdulillah, we're Muslim. At the same time, you are followers of Ahlul Bayt, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. At the same time, at least we pray and we fast. So we believe that Allah is in charge of our life, inshallah. Yes, we're not perfect, but Ya Allah, anywhere else, if we were trying a little bit like this, we know that you said you call yourself Rahman and Rahim, but we know that you're seeing us, we know that you're taking charge of your life, inshallah, our life. We understand this. So do you think when something happened in your life so difficult, Allah is not aware of that? He doesn't see that? He is. Sometimes He's just saying, just be patient. Don't you think you're young, you're single, and you need to get married, and you kept yourself pure, and you keep saying, Ya Allah, why is not happening, why is not happening? And Shaitan comes and says, look at those that they didn't take care of themselves, they didn't keep themselves pure, look, they can take whatever they want. Ya Allah, I was keeping... Wait, maybe Allah, don't complain, just keep it quiet. Maybe Allah is testing you, maybe Allah is just want you to improve yourself 1 or 2 more levels, so He has someone waiting for you, but you gotta improve yourself a little bit. You don't know what's going on. When you're just begging, Ya Allah, I want this job, just this one, please. Allah is not making it for you. Maybe that's the reason that Allah says, wait another month, I have something better for you. Believe me, trust me. That's why He says, never tell Allah, Ya Allah, either this one or nothing. Never say, Ya Allah, I just want this. Because you don't know finally and truly if it's good for you or not. He says, Ya Allah, if it's khair for me, I want it. If it's not, I don't want it. Trust Allah. Trust Allah. Ya Allah, if it's khair for me to have it, I want it. Why you need it so much? Ya Allah, if it's a khair marriage, make it. If it's not, I don't want it. I don't want it. Just, let me tell you something sad. The root of committing any haram and any sins is lack of trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because I don't trust you. Logically. Allah says, don't. I says, I know you said don't, but I want to do it. That means I don't trust you that much. A'udhu billah. Some people didn't trust Imam Hussein as well. We said we're analyzing the characteristics of those people to get away from them. Some people with Amir al-Mu'mineen at night with Zahra, Sayyid Zahra, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, Zainab, and Kulthum, we're going to each of the doors of Ahl Medina, knocking on the door. It says, come tomorrow and help me. Many people didn't trust Ali. That is why today we have issue, we have Ghaiba, Imam is not, because they didn't trust Ali. Because when Hussein invited them, Imam Hussein, do you think we are waiting for our Imam? We are saying, Imam of us, please come back. Imam is calling us. Imam is waiting for us. Hussein ibn Ali is going to people, and you know, Abdullah ibn Umar, in the path towards Kufa, Imam Hussein, he went to him, said, Ibn Umar, Imam himself, he sent a messenger, he didn't come. Imam himself went to him. Imam himself, the Imam Ma'soom went to him to invite him. He says, Ibn Umar, come with us, help us. Do you think Imam needs him? No. He's saying, you need me, come with me, I'm going to help you. What do you mean, Sayyid? I mean, you see that mother, a very passionate and kind mother, when we forget to eat, she comes and calls, come, you have to eat. I don't want it. No, you have to eat. It's bad for you. We have to go to the doctor, you got to get that shot. I don't want it, I'm going to cry. No, you have to go because this is good for you. Imam is looking for, Imam is inviting them, come Abdullah, come with us. That Mal'oom says, you know what, I have many things to do. Here's my horse and here's my sword. Very important, very rich. I've never been beaten by these things. I'm going to give you my horse and my sword. Imam says, keep it by yourself. I don't need this. Imam is not raising his hands. Imam is going to take his hand. No. Trust him. He didn't trust Imam. Ya Allah, I apologize for all moments that I didn't trust you and I committed something that was against your order. Ya Allah, I apologize for all those moments that I didn't trust your wali, your guardian, and I did something that broke his heart. I don't want to do that, Ya Allah. I don't want to have this issue that I don't trust you, I don't trust your wali. You know that I don't like it deep in my heart, but you need to help me. The reason that we're sitting here, Allah, that means you have to take our hands, you need to help us. And I know you want to help us, otherwise you wouldn't invite us to sit down in the majlis of us. There's a reason. If you didn't want, you wouldn't let us have tawfiq to be here and to sit down here. الصبر عند المصيبة. Patience in musibah. Never cry in this world for anything except for the level of your iman, your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or crying in the majlis of Ahlul Bayt and Imam Sayyid. Yabna al-Shabib, Imam Rada, you all know about this. Yabna al-Shabib, in kunta bakiyan ala fabkil al-Husayn. This is the word and recommendation of Ma'soom. O son of Shabib, if you turn off the lights a little bit, not all of them. If you want to cry for anything, look at me. If you want to, enough, please, that's enough. If you want to cry for anything, Yabna Shabib, only cry for Hussein ibn Ali. This is the recommendation for Imam Rada. He knows there are many other things that we can cry for, but the only thing, Yabna Shabib, the only thing you have to, the only thing that deserves that you cry for is the Imam Hussein's musibah. What is in this name? What is Hussein? I have to talk about Zainab. When I talk about patience, I have to bring this example of Zainab Salamullah alayha, this lady that the whole world, men and women, have to sit down in front of her and learn from her. So when she was talking in Kufa and in Sham, the way that she was talking, this lady, she just lost the whole family in Karbala. The way that she was talking, she reminded everyone about the khutbah and sermon of Amir al-Mu'minin when he was talking to people. Ya Allah, give me some patience. Help me, Allah, to have more of the attributes of Hussein and Zainab Salamullah alayha. Help me to get away from any of those unrighteous deeds and attributes that these enemies of Imam Hussein and Ahlul Bayt they had. Patience. Whoever were coming to get permission from Imam Hussein والسلام, to go to the battlefield, Imam somehow was trying to delay it. Specifically when it was the time of Qasim ibn al-Hassan, Imam didn't want to give him permission at all. Qasim, go, no, please, let's change the subject. No, you can't go. Let's just wait a little bit more or something. You know where I'm going to go, right? They said as soon as Ali Akbar came and asked for permission, Imam Hussein quickly gave him the permission. Yes, Ali, you are my son, you have to go now. That is why when Zainab Salamullah alayha, she sent her children to ask for permission, and Imam first didn't give permission. Zainab Salamullah said, Hussein, it's not fair. When Ali Akbar came, you gave permission so quickly. Now that it's my turn and my children, why you're not giving the permission? Imam quickly gave permission to Ali Akbar. Close your mind and let's go together to Karbala, inshallah. Sallallahu alayhi ya Aba Abdullah. I see many of you guys, I didn't start the musibah yet, but you started crying. It's not musibah yet, just you heard the name of Hussein and you are crying for Hussein. If you are looking for a miracle, look at yourself and your heart right now. I see many of young children are crying for Hussein. Just close your mind, let's go to Karbala this night. The eve of the 8th of Muharram. Quickly we're getting tomorrow to Tashua and Ashura. They're closing the Muharram, the Majalis very soon. Whatever you want to take from this Majalis, that's the moment to take. Sallallahu alayhi ya Abu Abdullah. Sallallahu alayhi ya Rasul Allah. Sallallahu alayhi ya Amir al-Mu'mineen wa ibna Sayyid sallallahu alayhi ya ibn Fatima Sayyidatul Sakina said when Ali Akbar left and he was in the battlefield, I saw my father walking in the tent, coming at the door and left. Coming outside the tent and look at the Qatligah, look at the battlefield and come back. She said that I saw my father, he's not normal. He's so stressed about Ali Akbar being inside in the battlefield. All of a sudden I heard Ali Akbar. He came back. Oh Father, you know what is killing me? This thirst is killing me, oh Father. Hadi, this armor is so heavy, oh Father. Rasulullah says, Akbar, Ya Ali, go back, inshallah. Soon you will be getting the water from the hand of Rasulullah. Ali left. Now he's not just a regular son. They said, أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا ومنطقا برسول الله. You know what that means? Whoever missed Rasulullah was looking at Ali Akbar. At the moment that he heard, Ali said, he said, oh Father, min salam, I am leaving you, oh Father, salam from me. They said, Hussein quickly went to Ali. This is the saddest part that you can find in Ashura. They said when Hussein went and he got to Ali Akbar, he saw that the body of Ali is irban irba. Whoever had anything in their hand, they hit the body of Ali with whatever they had. This is what this Maluni, they narrated themselves. And they said that when Hussein was crying, the first time Hussein is crying in Karbala, next to Ali Akbar he is crying, and this Maluni, they are clapping and celebrating. The Shahadat of Ali Akbar. Now Hussein wants to bring the body of Akbar back to the Qiyam and to the tent. They said he couldn't do that. One maybe because of these feelings, he doesn't have any strength in his body. Imam Sadiq said the best joy for a father to see that he has a son and he grows up and he walks in front of the father. And the worst musibah to see that that son is dying in front of him. He wants to take Ali back to the Qiyam. And the second reason, whatever part of the body Hussein is lifting, the other part is stay on the ground. That's when Imam Hussein called, all the youth of Bani Hashim, come and help me take the body of Ali Akbar. Assalamu alayka ya أبدا ما بغيت وبغي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together inshallah. السلام على الحسين وعلى الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين. One more time inshallah. Karbala. السلام على الحسين وعلى لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. إن شاء الله في دعاء الله. آمين. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناس ومد في عمره الشريف وزين الأرض بطول بقائه واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وشيعته. يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. Ya Allah, for the sake of Ali Akbar of Hussein, hasten in the duhur of Abu Imam Mahdi. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq an opportunity to be among the true followers of Abu Imam. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, help our youth, make them successful in dunya wal akhirah. Ya Allah, anyone from this ummah, specifically the followers of Ahlul Bayt, especially my dear brothers and sisters here, if they have any hajah, any request, any need, give them all the khair hajat. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, those who are sick, heal them, and those who passed away, send the thawab and reward out of this majlis to their soul. Let's get ready for Muharram, inshallah. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya